Hello everybody and welcome to my Killers Pressure Machine album review. Oh my god, it is here. I didn't think it was dropping at midnight tonight, but it has, and I am super pumped for this album. I've been waiting, I've been counting down the days for about a week now, and I'm really pumped it's here. I know this album is going to be different. I don't know what to expect other than that, except it kind of has some country vibes from what I hear, so really excited to get into this album. The first song is called West Hills, and we'll see what I think about this album. It may be the Killers' last album, so if it is, I hope they go out with the bang. Dave Kooning, the lead guitarist, is back. So me, a huge fan of the Killers, my favorite band by far, not by far, but by a pretty good amount. I'm really excited to see what they have in store, so let's hop into the album review. And also, before you watch this video, I'm not a musical expert. This is based on just totally my opinion from what I've heard in the Killers, from the Killers in the past, and that is what I'm comparing this album to. So everyone has their own taste, but we will see how I feel about this album, so stay tuned. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy the album. Okay, so the first song in the album is called West Hills, and it starts off very slow. Like, I was like, okay, this really does not sound like the Killers. Brandon Flowers' vocals were very clouded with music and stuff and violin and all that, but about the halfway point, it got back into the Killers that we all know. Rock and roll, Dave Kooning strumming on that guitar, and turned into a really good song, honestly. And I think they're doing this thing at the beginning where they're like playing like old tape recordings or something, and it's kind of interesting. It tells a little bit of a story, and honestly, just an alright song in my opinion, a decent song, a song that's going to be on the album that I'm going to listen to when I listen to the album back through, but definitely nothing that's really special to me, nothing that really popped. But the next song, we will see. The next song is called Quiet Days, I believe, so I'm going to give that one a listen, and I'll tell you guys my reaction. And also a quick disclaimer, I will not be playing clips of the music in this video for copyright purposes. I don't want to get copyright strike or any of that, so if you want to watch or listen to the music, before or after I review the song, that would probably be the best way to go about this. And I'm sorry if you were expecting me to be listening to the music, but I can't do that obviously for copyright purposes. So nonetheless, I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so the second song in the album is called Quiet Town, not Quiet Day or whatever I said. But anyways, this is a much better song in my opinion. A little bit electronic at the beginning, and then it goes into this, again, kind of rock, country kind of excellence that I really like. It has a harmonica. At the end, there's a piano. It's a really great song, and again, they give you the little tape recording story at the beginning of the song, and this one I really did enjoy more than the first one. Great song, really loved it, and I definitely recommend you guys go give it a listen. So let's move on to the third song now. No clue what it's called. So this next song is called Terrible Thing, and it's a really laid-back song. There's really no rock, there's nothing. There's just a little guitar in the background with Brandon Flowers' vocals going off, and it's a decent little chill song. And yeah, there's no old tape recorder in this song, but it talks about when he was younger and all that kind of thing, and it's really a decent little kind of calm down song compared to the last two, so I appreciate it. The next song is called Cody. It does have that little tape recorder bit at the beginning. I heard like the first few seconds, so we'll see how this one goes. Let you guys know. So this song, Cody, it really reminds me of a kind of like one of the album fillers for like one of the old Killers albums, kind of like Change Your Mind or Believe Me Natalie on Hot Fuss. Like Day and Age, like Can't Stay, I Can't Stay, Neon Tiger, Losing Touch on Day and Age, like one of those kind of songs where it's kind of meant to be an album filler. It sounds similar to those albums, like it's just kind of that good rock and roll, Brandon Flowers vocals, and it has that Killers sound to it. But it's, again, I think this and Quiet Town tied for my two favorite songs right now on this album. I know there's only been 4 songs, but again, a half decent song. some more of that country sounding stuff in there. I think there's a banjo or something in the background of this one, and this song talks a lot about religion. So the next song is called Sleepwalker, and I'll give it a listen. Okay, so Sleepwalker definitely has some of the upbeat vibes like some of the other Killers classics. It doesn't sound anything like the other Killers classics, but it has that upbeat Killers vibe where it's like or whatever, you know. It has that high guitar instrumental, and Brandon Flowers' vocals, again, very good, very strong in the song. Again, another decent song, but nothing spectacular. Through 5 songs, I really do think there's a lot to be desired. The next song is Runaway Horses featuring Phoebe Bridgers. This one was in the previews for Pressure Machine on Instagram and YouTube, so this is a song I'm kind of excited to hear in full, so we're going to see how this one goes. Maybe one of the songs I'm most excited about, so let's see how this one holds up, and I'm going to go give it a listen. So, Runaway Horses featuring Phoebe Bridgers, another very laid-back song, and I'm starting to notice a trend in this album. Brandon Flowers is 40 years old, and if this is the last album, which it may be, I'm noticing a trend where his voice, I don't know if it has that raspy rock and roll type in it anymore, and maybe that's why the album is the way it is, where it's a lot more laid back, a lot more kind of country banjo diddle-little, and it's another really laid back song, and I don't know how to feel. It may be Brandon Flowers' last limbs with recording records or albums, I should say. But I still think he sings the old Killer songs great during the tour. So maybe this is just like a wonderful where it's experimental type stuff. They see how it does, but I don't know how I feel about this song. The next song is called In the Car Outside. So we're going to see what's in this one. I'm still waiting for that rock and roll vibe that the Killers give off. I'm still waiting for a Killers type song. I don't know if we're going to get a classic Killers type song in this album, but there's still a few songs left in the album. We're about halfway through, so I still have hope. We will see In the Car Outside. In the Car Outside. Oh man. Just as I was getting a little bit hopeless, the Killers deliver the first Killer-sounding song of the album, and it was a good one. It reminded me a lot of, like, you know, what's a good example? I really don't know off the top of my head, but it's just like a nice Killer-sounding song. The next song we have is In Another Life. In the trailers for Pressure Machine, this is a song that I think I was the most excited about. This song sounds really good. Definitely has the potential to be the best song in the album. Really excited to listen to this one, but In the Car Outside, the first real Killer sounding song on this album. There's 4 songs remaining, In Another Life included. So let's hope these last 4 songs bring something really, really nice to the table. So In Another Life, I'm going to go give it a listen. As I suspected, In Another Life is the best song on this album so far. If I have to be honest, it reminds me of a modern day When You Were Young. It has that nice sound. Just the lyrics are really right there. And it does remind me of When You Were Young, but a more modern day old man kind of When You Were Young. Brandon Flowers obviously doesn't have the voice like he did for When You Were Young. He sounds so much different on the microphone, but definitely, in my opinion, modern day When You Were Young. The next song is called Desperate Things. 3 songs left, but the last 2 have been good songs, I will admit it. 2 best songs on the album have been in a row. I think after this one is Pressure Machine, the album name, so I'm going to go listen to Desperate Things or whatever it's called, and I will be right back. Okay, so with Desperate Things, we're back to that kind of chilled down, real close up and personal to your ears, really chill music. This song talks about when people are kind of down on their luck, how they do desperate things. Yeah, I get it. Again, just another decent song, nothing too special. definitely a lot more chill than we're used to the Killers being. Even in Imploding the Mirage, it was a real upbeat rock album. This one is the exact opposite. It sounds like a lot of the songs are kind of depressing and like slow and sad, and I don't know. There's definitely a few bright glimpses of songs that I really like, but now we have the main song, the album name, Pressure Machine. Kind of excited to hear this one. We're gonna see how it is, and I will get back to you guys. So Pressure Machine, another laid back song, and I'm gonna come out and say this right now. I think this album is a lot more of a country pop kind of album more than a rock album. There's definitely a few songs that are rock related, but I want to say that 6 out of the 9 songs or whatever that I've heard so far are definitely more country pop. Pressure Machine, like the last song before that too. Runaway Horses, and like the first song in the album, all like country pop. And maybe a theory behind it is Brandon Flowers, again, he is getting old. He's 40 years old. Maybe his vocals, they're making songs a bit easier on him to sing live. I really don't know. It is definitely an experimental album, though. And personally, from what I've heard so far, I don't know how well this album is going to do in the charts. It's just like a lot of okay music, in my opinion. There's a couple good songs, Life After and the one before it, and also Cody I think I like a lot. But yeah, the next song is called The Getting By. 2 songs left, this one included. So The Getting By and the last song of the album. And if this is the last album the Killers ever produce, well, we'll see. So I'm going to go listen to The Getting By. Oh, man. The Getting By, the last song in the album. I thought it was the second last. It turned out to be the last. I'm very sad because I wanted another song. But another laid back song, just letting Brandon Flowers do his thing. Really not a lot of instrumental, and one thing that I can take away from this album is it's definitely Bruce Springsteen, old Americano inspired. Like you saw Bruce Springsteen perform with the Killers a few months ago. They did a parody on Dustland Fairy Tale. I thought that was an excellent music video too. Great performance. Prefer it much more than the original. But wow. Yeah, I definitely an album. I mean, I listened to a few songs again, and it's definitely a lyric. You really have to listen to the lyrics in this album to kind of understand it, and I'm really hoping this isn't the Killers' last album. One thing I want to say though, even though I'm not disappointed with this album, I think that it's a decent. It's gonna age a bit well. It's kind of a Bruce Springsteen revival. The Killers try to perform here, and I thought they did a good job at it overall. But one thing that I will say is bringing on Dave Kooning. I was really hyped up for that. I was thinking they were going to make a really good rock and roll album with Dave Kooning on guitar, but you got the exact opposite. There's really not a lot of opportunities for Dave Kooning to shine with his guitar skills, and that kind of surprised me, but he did come back for the band, and you did hear a little bit of his work in a few of the songs, and overall, I'm going to have to listen to this album a couple more times while rollerblading while I'm really in my own space, because listening to this album the first time, there's a lot of thoughts jumping in my mind, but as I can say right now, I will have to rate this album maybe a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I do think there's definitely a few good songs in this album. There's definitely a lot of meaning behind the album, and also one thing that I want to mention is I think it's more focused also on like outback and small town kind of vibes, and if that wasn't obvious already, but yeah, it's definitely a kind of Bruce Springsteen 70s rock revival kind of album with the banjos and ukuleles in the background. And overall, I didn't hate this album at all. It was definitely surprising to hear a lot of the songs but I am a guy who can kind of get into pop music, and a lot of the music in this album kind of reminded me of country pop, and with Brandon Flowers' vocals in the background, it works out really well. So this is my Pressure Machine review. Just take into consideration I'm not a musical expert, I'm not a song rater at all. This is the first time that I've actually rated music on my channel, and if you want to see more of me rating music, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like down below, because it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate a lot. So thank you all for being here with me, listening to the Killer's new Pressure Machine album. I cannot believe it's over. I cannot believe it's here. I'm super pumped about it, and I cannot wait to get out on my rollerblades, listen to it a couple more times. But until then, maybe I'll come back with you. Maybe I'll come back and give a full review on this album after I've listened to it a couple more times. But this is my review for right now. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. But for now, bye.